Absolutely fantastic. It just gives you a new dimension of thinking. Doing a course like this, meeting yourself and the other trainers, there's so much weight, and so much experience and so much knowledge. You can do what your mind's telling you can't do. If you're sitting there thinking about it, and tomorrow you're thinking about it, it means you should do it. Because this is something that can, with effort on your part, change your life.
Hi guys, it's me, Johnny Cassell. Today you join me with the lovely Emile.
Hello.
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 And what I wanted to do in this video is give Emile the chance to actually share with you guys watching this a little bit about his course. He's just finished his 7-day program. I just want to ask you a kind of series of questions that basically, help out some people there that are maybe thinking about this program, maybe not too sure if this is the right sort of action to take for them. This is the right method of kind of getting over those hurdles in their mind. As you said, there was a little bit of skepticism about getting this sort of coaching before you decided that you was going to fuck it, go for it.
Yeah.
as you said. Let's just press on that topic there. What brought you to the stage of, I just want to get some help in this area of life, enough's enough?
It's a very good question. I'd recently come out of a relationship where I found that it had gone on past the point that it was the right relationship for me, and then I felt like I was settling, and that's through a lack of confidence and a lack of natural ability of talking to women. I felt uncomfortable talking to women. It gave me low confidence, low self-esteem. So when I did meet a woman, I think that betrayed itself in my relationships. So I wanted to address those issues of having the skill set of being able to articulate myself, be more confident, and try and meet the person that I wanted to be with. And that was the main reason why I signed up for the course.
So, as you've learnt in the course, opportunity is everywhere. And when you were in a conventional kind of social activity, embracing those social activities that one does, maybe clubbing or parties or whatever, and you saw someone that you liked, what would you do before the course?
Absolutely nothing. So
Right.
I realised through this week that what I was doing was the same as what you would do when you were 16, 17, 18, start going out with your friends. Is you'd approach a girl, say something, you wouldn't know what to say, what to do, and so you just shy away from it. And that's not the right attitude, and that's gone on now for too long, that I wouldn't do anything. So I'd see a girl I like and not be confident enough to speak to her, be anxious to approach her, to an extent that then my mind would go blank and I'd have nothing to say for myself.
Which I think is a common thing that pops up for probably most people that are watching this. I can relate to that. I certainly came through that.
My voice would go quirky saying hello.
Wow.
It's that sort of anxiety, and that doesn't portray any form of characteristics that anybody would ever want to date.
Right. And can you share with me as well, like Emile said to me during the course that that he'd lost 30 kilograms, which is, big deal. Like, hats off to you,
Thank you very much.
And what was interesting to hear was he had this warped perception of himself. He actually thought that he was still looking through the eyes of, the 30 kg heavier version of you still saw yourself as that unattractive bigger guy.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's through the lack of interaction with women, through that anxiety and that lack of confidence, that you don't perceive yourself as the person that you really are. And it's by doing a course like this where you are forced to interact, not physically forced, but pushed to interact with people, interact with women, that you realise your perception of yourself, the theories you have of who you are, are not correct.
Right. So it's about building up, those new reference points.
Yeah, new reference points, positive points, where you realise you can do what your mind's telling you can't do. It's a case of self-belief and confidence.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that I've gained through this week.
Okay. And, what a lot of people out there, I mean, it's something that I touch on a lot, and it's to do with your environment, it's to do with the people that you're with, and, the sort of advice that you're getting from the people that you would think are the closest is not necessarily the right sort of advice. I mean, how long were you listening to this for?
As in advice from my friends previously, all of my life. I don't, unless you're trained as you are and have such experience, the advice they've given you is meaningless because it's their own personal perception, their personal ideas, which haven't been tried and tested. It has no weight to it.
Yeah.
Whereas doing a course like this, meeting yourself and the other trainers, there's so much weight, and so much experience and so much knowledge that's the biggest difference to listening to your friends or even your family members.
Yes. And it's so easy to get caught up in that, and I think it's something that we're conditioned from a young age, so, don't worry, you'll meet someone, like it's some sort of Disneyland film. I mean, it's
a fairy tale. So I'm in love with a fairy tale, and I expected the woman of my dreams to come up to me, whether it be in the street, the bar, anywhere, and say, hey, I really like you, let's go out sometime. It's never going to happen. It's the fairy tale is you see the girl you like, you go up to her, you make the first move, you show her who you are.
Something I want to talk about. Earlier on in the week, you said that, I think it was 4 days in, and you said that you approached more women in 4 days, or that you were messaging more women in 4 days than you've done in the last 12 months.
Yeah. I'd gained, just through the approaches, the interactions with women, I'd gained more numbers in that time. It probably equals the number that I've got in my lifetime this week now.
Wow.
And it's gotten to an extent today where a young lady texts me, and it took me a while to recall what day and where I met her. And that's completely different to the position I've been in, where you might get a number every four months.
Right.
You now have the skill set and the confidence to see a girl you like and say, I'm going to try it. You might not get the number, but at least you can go home saying, hey, I tried it.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference.
Yeah. And, and it's, as we were just discussing before, we started shooting this, is, from where you were, which was in a position where you couldn't action your abilities, you now do have the ability to action, to take action, and you've now got the ability to have choice.
Choice. In your life. Yeah. Choice is the word. Is the ability to make choices for yourself. And not just in meeting women. I think this week is more than just that. It's about self-development, personal growth, realising who you are and what you can be.
Great. And so just explore that a little bit more. I mean, you said that this is about, and rightfully so, this is about self-development and growing and exploring who you can be. What other areas do you feel that this is going to carry out into?
So for me personally, I think my work, my career pathway is going to benefit hugely, because a lot of the skill sets you learn are more about social interaction. They are about social interaction and not just picking up women. And that will benefit you in all walks of life, but especially in work, because that portrays confidence, it portrays power, it displays assertiveness. The other areas, so personally I smoke, and I think doing this has given me the self-belief, the willpower and the drive to want to stop.
Wow.
But it's also given me passion into doing things that I've neglected, such as reading, working out, making time for myself.
Great.
And that all stems from improved self-esteem and confidence, which we don't live for other people's validation. But unless you do get it from time to time, it's hard to drive yourself forwards. This week, in the first few approaches, you get validation by the fact that the women you approach, attractive, educated, smart women, who are very receptive to you talking to.
Exactly, and that's what I'm so happy about. You realizing that women respond well to these sort of interactions, right? There hasn't been one woman that you've approached in 7 days straight that has responded badly to you, right?
Not a single one.
And your idea beforehand would have been...
My idea would have been, for example, if I'd stopped a woman in the street, it'd be like, you joker, dream on, and then walk off. But that didn't happen, not from day 1 to day 7. It just didn't happen. Nothing anywhere near that.
Yeah.
When you do it the first time, the second time, you're like, I've spent years in my mind thinking I'm this person, but that's your perception of yourself, and generally it's wrong because we're always self-critical or overly self-critical. And that's been really eye-opening. I mean, through this course we approached the manager of the Michael Kors store in the centre of London, and she was so receptive, and you think, wow, this is a woman in her workplace in a position of power who is very attractive, and here's me walking in off the street approaching her, and she's not put off by it. It's actually a compliment to her.
She was waiting for you to take her out for lunch, wasn't she?
Yeah.
In the end.
And that's really surprising. It boosts your confidence, and I think with time that will change your life if you implement the stuff that you learn on this course.
Yes.
It has the potential to really change your life.
So let's get into the people that you worked with then. Luke, how was your experience of Luke?
Absolutely fantastic. He's a top bloke, well educated. Not only is he involved in this field, he's also involved in life coaching, which he takes very seriously. He gives very good, sound advice and helps you break down some of the issues you have. And he does it in such a short space of time that I am going to work with Luke again, hopefully in the future, more on life coaching than on this. But I think that's all part of the development and the process of the week.
Yes.
And you start with him to address those issues that you have and what you want to gain. And that was a fantastic start to the week. It was really eye-opening. And his report from that session is then fed to the other trainers, which is then built on.
Yes. I mean, that's what we like to do. We like to, a lot of people find that first session of the week very exhausting because he does take you to a deep place, and it may feel uncomfortable, but we have to get it, feel a little bit uncomfortable to, get rid of these old habits and get some clarity on these events that have happened in your life, right?
Yeah, I don't sleep during the day. After meeting him, I passed out for an hour and a half. I was so mentally exhausted, but in a very good way. And he's helped me realise things that if I'd done another course and not met him, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Katie, how was your experience with Katie?
Really good. So Katie is a beautiful actress. She's very confident of herself. She's very young. She's well spoken. She's well educated. So spending time with her was a pleasure. But it's good to spend time with such a woman who can help point out a female perspective.
Yes.
Which again, unless that's been specifically pointed out, and you might have female friends, but I don't think they will compare anything near to what Katie is like. And she
Why? What's Katie like?
She really opens your eyes. She's very honest.
Yeah.
And she's very good at interpreting people's body language, their mannerisms, and she can show you things. So she can tell you that by this woman doing this, she's actually saying, "Hey, I quite like you." Her experiences. It just gives you a new dimension of thinking, as opposed to straight down the line that you used to think. And you're thinking, "Hold on, not everyone thinks like me." And that was really, really useful.
Good. No, I mean, Katie's really great, given that female perspective. We use Katie for a lot of role play, did a lot of role play exercises as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's fantastic what she does. She's an amazing actress, and we actually have her using these the skills she's learned to help her acting career with the students.
Yeah. And one of the other benefits is it helps you address what you should and shouldn't, or how you should say things to women, where the boundaries are, or how they might be perceived what you're saying. So there are things where if you have laddish humour, she will point out where that's not to change it, but to just articulate it slightly differently. And it's those small changes that actually make a very big difference.
Yes, agreed. Fantastic. Okay, H. How was your experience with H?
So I spent a whole day with H. He's one of the nicest guys I've met. You can tell that his family have brought him up really, really well, and I told him that.
Yes.
Which is why he's in events.
The hospitality industry.
Because everybody likes him, and they like him because he's so genuine and real.
Yes.
And he might not be involved in pickup, or a pickup artist by definition, but his social interaction, his whole persona, is really good to get that perspective of social proof of the concepts, the ideas behind it, where you don't necessarily have to know everyone, or just being a nice, honest person, being articulate, being funny, not being shy, can make a big, big difference. And he's the one who we went to Michael Kors with, and it's through what he would do, where he was just talking to the guys working in the shop, making jokes, being relaxed, being himself, that through that stemmed that whole situation where you met the manager and you can talk to them.
So you learn just how, what he's great at is, he can walk into an environment and it's like everyone seems to know him, but then he'll turn around and you'll be like, "Who's that?" And he goes, "I don't know, I just never met him before."
Yeah. And that we went out in the evening, and again, the beautiful thing about this course is that there's no strict timeline. So we were out till 4 a.m, just having a great time. And in the club, he'd be like, "Hey, this is so and so." I'd shake his hand. I was like, "Who's that?" He's like, "Oh, I thought you knew him. I ain't got an idea." And it was just that humour, that light-heartedness. Everyone had a great time, and everyone thought that this guy, or me and him, knew everyone, just through that whole friendly, warm-hearted approach.
Yes. H is such a lovable guy. One of the rare gems that's come from the nightlife industry. Actually, as he rightfully said, he's not someone that is on the course to teach you how to pull a babe in a nightclub. That's not his gig. I make sure the students work with H to improve their social capacity. In which you feel like you've certainly had some value added there.
Yeah. So since walking into a club or a bar on the other nights, I shake the bouncer's hand, I say hello. And that night we went to one of the hotels. I knew the bouncer, and you're like, "How do you know him?" It's like, "Well, it's H. He introduced me, had that conversation." And that has its benefits anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that you're going to implement when you're back home.
So this morning I went to Costa Coffee, where I'd usually be like, "I'll have my sandwich and my coffee." I was making jokes and banter, so that everyone was very receptive, very friendly, and it got to the extent where the person behind me in the queue kept on smiling at me because they're like, "Well, this guy's so much fun."
Yeah.
It's just being relaxed.
It's contagious.
Yeah, but that made me feel better, which is
And there's something I always say to people I work with. It's like, you know, the quickest way to happiness is making someone else happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you live with that kind of altruistic attitude, you know, it really does pay dividends.
Yeah. If someone in front of you is negative, that'll make you negative. If you make the person in front of you happy, that'll make you happy.
Yes.
And that's exactly what this course tries to teach you. Or one of the things this course tries to teach you.
One of many
Yeah.
of the things trying to teach you. Myself, how did you find my coaching?
Brilliant. The first day is the theory, and it is very intense. There's a lot of points, a lot of concepts to take in, and it does kind of warp your brain. But then you think it's, after that session, you think it's too much, I'll never be able to do this.
Yes.
But then you go out and you start taking the first few steps, and you think, okay, I can do the first few steps. And then you go out again and again, and you build and you build and you build, and you get to a stage where you think, I can do this. You'll never master it at the end of this week, but through your coaching, you give that framework to develop your skills in the future.
The foundation.
Yeah. And it's a very solid foundation. The way that the theory is broken down is very easy to understand, and it's broken down into such small areas that you can then go off and read about that area, learn that area, implement it. So it was fantastic. And then you go out together, you've actually got a really, really good wingman who can hook you up, so it's win-win.
Or you got any stories to share on that side?
None that spring to mind.
Okay, I'm not going to share that one then. What about Dan? How was your experience with Dan?
Again, very good. Dan looks about 7 years old. So when you meet him, you're like, really? He's just baby face.
Poor guy, gets so much stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got, the concepts are the same, but his teaching method is slightly different. But that's what you need, because you're never just going to copy someone else's style. You're going to learn your own style. You're just learning ideas. And he breaks it down in a similar way, but it's different. And again, the theory is very, very intense. It's a lot to take in. But you've already got that foundation built, so when you do go out with him, you're instantly building. And then I find that having yourself and Dan in the same week, your ideas don't conflict each other, but they differ slightly. But once you go out with Dan and yourself, everything starts to come together towards the end of the week, and you feel more confident. So when you do go out and make approaches, you actually do start getting a lot of phone numbers, or your percentage of approaches to closing and getting phone numbers becomes really high. To the extent today where I was really tired, I didn't make many approaches. I probably only made 2, but I closed 2.
Yeah.
It's
Great conversion.
It's 100%. Well, it is
Yeah.
100%.
We want a decent return on our time invested in this sort of stuff. What was it that stood, the course that I'm offering here, apart from, other ones that are possibly out there?
So I did some research before doing this week, and what made this course stand out was speaking to you, what it is that this course offers. Everyone else was offering skills to pick up women, which is what I wanted. You were offering that, but you were offering to address areas such as low confidence, low self-esteem, how to improve those areas, how to articulate yourself better, how to improve your language skills, your communication skills, your body language skills, your sense of style. As a package, it offers a lot more.
Yeah.
And it really does.
I mean, this is everything and learning how to meet up women.
Yes.
So
focused around how to meet women, but there's so much more.
Yes. And do you feel that, everything that you've learned has been ethical and respectful towards women?
Yes, that was one of my biggest hesitations, was that's not me, that's not what I wanted to gain. But that's not what this course offers, and that becomes evident after 5 minutes of sitting down with Lou.
Yes.
That's not what this is about at all. And I actually think if that was your mentality, you probably wouldn't let them finish the week without changing their mentality.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why we always start our programs with, the whole mindset. Because I'm not interested in, farming out social robots. I'm interested in the refinement of man, and helping guys to be their best selves, so they can get the right sort of quality women they want in their life. In actual fact, I'm helping the women out there. I'm doing my bit for society.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, good. Guys that are out there that are kind of sitting on the fence, and that, they've thought about it, they're humming and hawing about it. What would you say to help those sort of guys out that are kind of procrastinating about getting help in this area?
Well, if this is something if this is an area of your life you want to improve, if you sit there on your own, even if you just read books, you might improve slightly, but you'll never be that person you want to be. It's like if you have depression and you go to a doctor, they can help you. If you sit there on your own, you can only get better by X amount. It's that professional help. It is a very intense week.
Yeah, we warned you about that.
I am exhausted. But I think if you're sitting there thinking about it, and tomorrow you're thinking about it, it means you should do it. Because this is something that can, with effort on your part, change your life.
Yeah.
And all the trainers that started here, the majority that I spoke to, all started from a similar position to where I am.
Yeah.
They found something in their life that was weak and wanted to change, and they went off and did it. And they've done it now for so long that they now teach it.
Yeah. Yeah. And as I said, like, how I got into this, the first project I had was myself. That is, we are all a work in progress. Wherever you are right now, there is a lot of work to be done. We never stop improving. Even me as a person right now, just because I teach you stuff doesn't mean that I haven't stopped improving. And that goes to say for the rest of my team. I think the moment that someone who is in a teaching position thinks they can't be taught something new, is the moment they let ignorance come the better of themselves. I mean, that's a sad case. So, if you are there and you think that maybe you can't help me, I'll challenge you on that. I mean, we've got 100% success rate with our clients. I mean, you look at how success is measured. Success is measured. I mean, you tell them you knew what you could do before here.
Yeah, very
right.
little. Yeah.
And what does success look like for you in this week?
It's those foundations where now I can go out and I can articulate myself with women. I can hold a conversation. Mm-hmm. And with time, I'll be able to meet the women that I want to date, as opposed to settling for the women that I happen to stumble across their number. There was I don't know how to say it. There was no choice on my part. Whereas now I have that knowledge, that understanding of social interaction, that I can go out and meet women. So I feel confident that next week, moving forwards, when I go out, if I see someone I like, I can go up to them and say, hey, and hold a conversation. It might not get me a phone number, might not get me a date, but hey, that's more than I would have done last week. And that's a big step forwards.
Yeah.
So if you were like me a week ago, where you'd see someone you like and you think, she's hot, she's beautiful, oh, she's my type, and you still sat there, then this is probably the course for you, because if you don't do it in a week's time, you'll still be sat there. Whereas people who do this course will be more confident and more knowledgeable to make that first move. And that's a big, big step forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And you made out of a couple of women this week, no?
A fair few, yeah.
Missed an open goal, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, again, having the skill set to go over to them, talk to them in the club, and within a few minutes portray yourself as who I am, as a confident guy. And yeah, we made out, and got some phone numbers.
Great. Well, Emile, it's been fantastic having you this week, and it's been a joy working with you. You know, it really has.
I think it has. It's been great to go out with you. It really has.
Well, we've had a blast.
Yeah.
But the exciting thing for me now is hearing what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
That's for me. That's the joy. You've got a skill set now, and I can live my fantasies through you. Like the puppeteer over here. Just, but no, I do hope you have fun of it. So, cheers.
Cheers, thanks. Still a great week.
Cheers.